Have you ever thought that you could make your own cheese at home using just a few familiar ingredients? Today, I'm going to try a fairly simple method that doesn't require any elaborate preparation. Here, I have a liter of fresh milk, a little apple cider vinegar, some butter, and salt. With just these four ingredients, I'll walk you through the process of transforming the milk into a batch of soft, creamy, and delicious cheese. The most interesting part is watching the milk change step by step, shifting from its initial liquid state until the curds gradually separate and finally form the cheese. Let's get started and see how it's done, and whether the finished product is truly tasty. Now, let's get started. First, I pour 2 liters of fresh milk into a clean pot and place it on the stove. I heat the milk gradually, no need for high heat, while keeping a close eye on it to prevent it from boiling over as the temperature rises. While waiting for the milk to heat up, I make use of the empty milk carton. Instead of throwing it away, I use a utility knife to cut off one side, turning it into a small mold. Later on, I'll use this very carton to hold and shape the finished cheese. It's a simple method that saves me from having to prepare a separate mold. Back to the pot. The milk is starting to warm up now. I add 2 spoonfuls of salt and stir gently until it dissolves. The salt gives the final cheese a richer flavor, going beyond just the milk's natural creaminess. I continue heating and watching. When the milk is hot and nearing the boiling point, I add the next key ingredient, 2 spoonfuls of apple cider vinegar. As soon as the vinegar is added, I stir gently to distribute it evenly throughout the milk. You'll notice a distinct change in the milk after just a moment. I keep stirring gently for about 2 minutes. The milk transforms from a uniform white liquid into small curds that gradually clump together into larger pieces. At the same time, a pale yellow liquid separates out. This liquid is known as whey. This reaction occurs because the acid in the apple cider vinegar lowers the milk's pH level, destabilizing the casein proteins and causing them to clump together into curds. You will clearly see 2 distinct parts: the curds, which will be used to make the cheese, and the whey surrounding them. Once the milk has separated relatively clearly like this, there is no longer a need for vigorous stirring. The most important part of this initial step is complete, and I now have the curds ready for the process of forming the cheese. Once the milk has clearly separated into 2 parts, I prepare a sieve to collect the curds. I slowly ladle the mixture into the sieve, allowing the whey to drain through while the soft curds remain on top. I let it sit for a while to ensure all the excess liquid drains away. Once relatively drained, we are left with soft, white, and fairly loose curds like this. Now, I transfer all the curds into a clean pan and gently spread them out evenly. This is the stage where I begin transforming the curds into a smoother, richer mixture. I add about half a teaspoon of baking soda. As the baking soda reacts with the acidic curds from the vinegar, you can see the mixture begin to change slightly. Since baking soda is alkaline, it neutralizes the remaining acidity and alters how the proteins in the curds bond, helping the mixture change texture when heated. To add richness and a delicious aroma, I stir in 50 grams of melted butter. As soon as the butter is added, I start stirring to blend it with the curds, preventing it from simply pooling at the bottom of the pan. From this point on, I keep the heat low and stir patiently and consistently. I continue stirring slowly like this for about 10 minutes. As it heats, the butter gradually incorporates into the curds, and the mixture undergoes a gradual transformation. I stir while gently pressing down to break up any large clumps of curd, ensuring they blend evenly with the butter. Once the mixture reaches the desired consistency, I turn off the heat and prepare to shape the cheese. Now, I'll use this container as a mold to shape the cheese. I slowly pour the entire mixture into the container. While the cheese is still soft, I use the back of a spoon to spread it evenly, paying special attention to the corners. As I spread it, I press down gently to ensure the mixture settles neatly and the surface remains relatively flat, which will result in a more attractive shape when unmolded. Once the surface is smoothed out, I cover the container tightly with plastic wrap. There's no need to rush into tasting it just yet. I'll place the container in the fridge and let it chill overnight. This time allows the mixture to cool completely and firm up, making it easier to unmold and slice the next day. And here is the finished product after a night in the fridge. I gently remove the cheese from the mold and place it on a plate. Compared to the soft mixture right after cooking, the cheese has now set firmly and looks very appetizing. I use a clean knife to cut the cheese into bite-sized strips. I slice slowly to ensure the pieces keep their shape and don't crumble too much. The interior of the cheese looks soft with a lovely color, and it has a delightful, mild, creamy aroma of milk and butter. To go with it, I've prepared a cucumber. I slice the cucumber into small, bite-sized pieces. Its crisp, refreshing taste helps balance the richness of the cheese. And, of course, I've prepared some bread as well. Simply placing a slice of cheese on the bread with a few cucumber slices makes for a very simple yet delicious treat. The combination of the bread, the rich, soft cheese, and the crisp, cool cucumber creates a delightful snack. And there you have it. My homemade cheese is ready. Using simple, familiar ingredients, we've created a soft, creamy treat with a rich, milky, and buttery aroma that pairs perfectly with bread or cucumber for a quick, easy snack. If you enjoyed today's recipe, give it a try and let me know how yours turns out. Don't forget to like the video, share it with friends, and subscribe to the channel so we can explore more great tips and exciting recipes together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.